So Marty Supreme was directed by Josh Safdie and it stars Timothy Chalamet, Gwyneth Paltrow, Odessa Azion, Tyler the Creator, Kevin O'Leary, Fran Drescher, and it's about this ping pong player named Marty Mauser. He is trying to be the very best in his field. He tries to be very he's out there, he's doing a lot of crazy stuff, and he tries to be the best of the best, and no matter what he does, he's going to exceed in his goals. So this was a movie that I've been hearing a lot about, another one of those movies where Timothy Chalamet is going to try to go for an Oscar nomination, kind of like A Complete Unknown last year, and it was directed by one of the Safdie brothers. Now, I do like the Safdie brothers. I did like Good Time, I did like Uncut Gems, but I was disappointed to hear that they kind of are doing their own things now. And I was really concerned after The Smashing Machine earlier this year, which I thought was just fine. It was kind of like, that's kind of weird. It's like, this doesn't feel like a Safdie brothers movie, and it's just kind of upsetting. So I was kind of curious to see what Marty Supreme was going to be like. Is this movie going to be kind of like, not really a Safdie brothers movie, but kind of just its own thing? And also with someone like Timothy Chalamet in the mix, who, I like him as an actor. I'm not like his biggest fan, but like he's kind of proven himself time and time again. It's like every time I kind of doubt him, he's always coming through and shining and such. And with this movie, is this movie as good as people are saying? Honestly, again, if I'm being honest, this may be one of my favorite movies of the year. This movie is incredible. This movie is a thrill ride from beginning to end. Yeah, it's 2.5 hours long, but this movie is definitely worth the time. So let's start off with the things I do like in this movie. First off, Timothy Chalamet in this movie. He is incredible in this movie. He does a lot of things in this movie as his character that are just so shocking that no one should get away with a lot of stuff he does in this movie. No one. No one should be getting away with it. He says some things that are really offensive, disgusting, just terrible in general. And you're kind of just in shock at times at a lot of the stuff he's doing. And at first I was kind of shocked, but at times I was also laughing. But I thought he was so good in this movie, and he was so convincing in this movie. He's my pick for best actor right now. I think he is incredible in this movie. As far as some of the other actors, Gwyneth Paltrow, honestly, this is one of her best performances in recent years. I thought she was really good as this fading star in Hollywood who encounters Marty. Also, Odessa Azion, who is another person in Marty's life. I thought she was really good in this movie too. The other actor who surprised me is actually not really an actor, is actually Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank. I was like, wait, isn't that the dude from Shark Tank? What's he doing in this movie? And surprisingly, he's actually really good in this movie as this guy who kind of sees through a lot of Marty's BS and kind of humiliates him in various ways. I thought he was really good in this movie. Also, the score in this movie is excellent. This is some of the best music in a movie behind One Battle After Another and Sinners. The music has so much variety. There's so many different styles of music throughout this entire movie that I thought were just, they matched the scenes perfectly. And I thought they were very well done. Also, the editing of this movie is very well done as well. Again, the movie is 2.5 hours long, but you don't really feel that it is 2.5 hours long. And the pacing of this movie actually is very good as well, because again, it's a very long movie, but there's so much that's going on in this movie that you kind of just lose the track of time, and it's just you kind of get invested with a lot of the action in this movie, and you're just surprised. But then again, a lot of the Safdie brothers movies beforehand were kind of like that, where it's like you're kind of get sucked into this anxiety driven movie where it's like you kind of just are on a ride, and you're kind of on the ride for Marty Supreme throughout the entirety of the movie. And also, this movie is very tension filled. You would think, why is a movie about ping pong tension filled? Did you not see Good Time or Uncut Gems? Yeah, those movies were extremely intense. And this movie is no different. And eventually, it kind of just builds up to this climax that is so well done. And it's kind of one of those movies where I was kind of like just, my mouth was honestly just starting to drop to the floor because I was just so astonished by like how it was all kind of like coming together in like this really big situation where everything kind of blows up. And I thought that was very well done. I will say there are a lot of ideas that are kind of being explored. Obviously, you have Marty, who's trying to be the very best in something that's not really that popular, but you kind of see him like go through like a lot of stuff, and it's like how he's dealing with that. I feel like there are a lot of interesting angles that the movie takes, and I feel like I wouldn't do it justice by saying like what's in this movie and what's not in this movie. But there's so much about like image and celebrity, and there's also stuff about like what is real, what's not. And I do think that this movie is very fascinating and definitely something that really needs to be seen in a movie theater. The movie has a very unpredictable nature throughout it. It's like, okay, what kind of horrible stuff are we going to do in this movie? And you kind of, it's like not the direction you thought it would go into, but you do become invested in this movie throughout. Again, it's mainly because of Timothy Chalamet's performance as his main character, who is a lot of fun to watch. And you kind of see like some of the moments he has where it's like early on in the movie, he kind of criticizes the Harlem Globetrotters, but when he's talking to Kevin O'Leary at one point, he's trying to convince them, no, the Harlem Globetrotters are great and such. It's moments like that that kind of made me really enjoy the movie a lot more. It's like callbacks like that. And this movie is, again, also, this movie has so many different genres. At times it's a comedy, at times it's a thriller, at times it's a drama, and I do feel like each genre is blended perfectly. Like, if you're watching this on some streaming service, which, first off, see this movie in a movie theater first rather than wait for a streaming service. This movie needs to be seen in a movie theater. But if you're looking for like this movie on a streaming service, if you found it under comedy, if you found it under thriller, if you found it under drama, yeah, it would all kind of make sense because like everything in this movie feels like there's no specific genre, but it has all these elements of other genres and they blend so perfectly together. I guess I was very nervous about this movie because the Safdie brothers are known for making these anxiety-ridden movies and such, and I definitely now see which director kind of had that feeling throughout the entirety of their films, and that was Josh Safdie. So, sorry, Betty Safdie. Smashing Machine was fine, but I feel like this movie is a lot better. Now, despite my praise of the movie, is there anything about the movie I don't like? I guess there are some actors who I wish had a little bit more. Like Fran Drescher's in this movie as Marty's mother. I kind of feel like they could have done a little bit more with her. And also, Tyler the Creator appears as one of his accomplices in various things at one point. And I felt like they could have used his character a little bit more, but again, kind of mostly in service to Marty in this movie. But again, this is mostly just Chalamet's movie. He's commanding the entire movie. And also, there are a couple moments that, even though it is tension-filled and the movie does move very fast, there are a couple moments where it's like, okay, you can pick it up a little bit. But when it does pick up, oh boy, does it pick up. It's a lot of fun. This movie is a blast from beginning to end. So Marty Supreme, the movie is incredible. Honestly, it's one of my favorites of the year. It has great performances from Timothée Chalamet, Gwyneth Paltrow, Odessa A'zion, Kevin O'Leary, who surprised me because he's not an actor first. The score is great, the editing, the pacing, the cinematography, the tension throughout this entire movie is great. There are many ideas that are being explored. It is very funny, the unpredictable nature of it. Again, if you can see this movie on a big screen, please do that. This movie is definitely worth your time. It's worth 2.5 hours of your time, but man, what a ride. I will give Marty Supreme 3.5 out of 4 stars. See it. So, what is your favorite Timothée Chalamet movie? Comment down below, subscribe to the channel. This is Pat, and stay safe.